Your name, please. Go ahead and look at me and spell it out for the record.
Sure. Sarah Eckhart, Sarahhart. That tattoo on your neck was bound to hurt when you got it.
It did.
I bet.
And your title?
I'm the Travis County Judge.
All right, Sarah. And tell me a little bit about this new civil and family courts complex that you guys are doing.
We very much need a new civil and family courts complex. Currently, our flagship courthouse is the Heman, Marion Sweat Courthouse, which is beautiful, but we've stuffed it so full of people that there's no more space. And we desperately need more space. The Heman, Marion Sweat will stay our flagship courthouse, but we need to build some additional capacity. We don't have enough space now, and by 2035 we will need more than twice as much space as we need now. So we really need to get moving.
And what are you doing here today?
What we're doing here today is Travis County Commissioners Court has been engaged for about 10 years in trying to decide where to build the new civil and family courts capacity. And so after 10 years of deliberation and review and analysis, the decision of the court was to move forward in asking the voters for permission to borrow $287 million to build additional courts space near our current flagship courthouse. So we lucked out, really, and got the original courthouse block at 4th and Guadalupe, and we plan to build a additional court space there, co-located with family services like reasonable waiting rooms for children, daycare, restaurants, possibly a theater or arts space, and also co-locating with the private sector construction of a office space on the back side, which would also have retail and restaurants and private offices. So that's going to generate tax income right next to our government building, which is very nice.
Cool. And so where are people going for these services right now?
Right now they go to the Heman, Marion Sweat Courthouse, which, like I said, is a beautiful old building, but it really has been abused by stuffing it so full of people. And as a former prosecutor and civil attorney, I used to sit between protective order clients and the people they were seeking protection from, because there was no other place but to sit in the hallways and wait for your case. So cases get negotiated in stairwells and hallways. There is no place for children to safely wait. It is compromised from an ADA standpoint, so if you're in a wheelchair, it's very difficult to access the current courthouse. So we are looking to build appropriate capacity. The current courthouse is more than 80 years old, and it was last expanded in the year of my birth. So we very, very much need some additional and appropriate civil courts capacity.
All right, and why do you think it's important for the money to go for something like this as opposed for something else?
Well, you know, government, there's always competition for tax dollars. We certainly have competition in all kinds of realms with county government, but our major service delivery under the Texas Constitution is justice. We have got to deliver equal access to justice for every Travis County resident, and we are failing in that because we don't have adequate space for people to come and resolve their disputes peacefully at the courthouse.
Anything else that you want to get across about this topic?
Sure. There's been a lot of debate about where to build it, and frankly the Commissioners Court debated that for, like I said, 10 years. The debate continues, but we've got to make a decision here. We simply can't continue to have such limited access to justice by having a really overstuffed courthouse. So some folks have said that it would be cheaper if we built it someplace else, and it would be an economic stimulant to another area of town. Those two assertions simply aren't true. It's going to cost the same amount to build this building no matter where you build it in the metropolitan statistical area, because construction costs just are what they are. And it won't provide economic stimulus because the jobs that are associated with the courthouse are already filled.
What's the next step from here?
The next step from here is a bond election. The bond election is going on right now, and early voting is through this Friday, the 30th, and election day is on November 3rd, next Tuesday. So I encourage everybody to go out and vote. If you would like to see sort of a pros and cons list on all of the issues that are on the ballot, go to the League of Women Voters website. It's a nonpartisan organization that can provide you the pros and cons. And also, if you'd like to know where early voting is most convenient for you, go to the Travis County Clerk's website where all of the early voting locations are listed.
Tony, you have anything?
No, I think you answered. You good?
What about video? What do you think would be good for us to shoot video for this story? I guess just the area where it could possibly get built.
Sure. The area is a surface parking lot right now, but you're welcome to come over to the Heman Marion Sweat Courthouse and just take some shots of the stairwell and whatnot. I mean, the dockets don't really get going until a little later in the morning, but you could get some. It's dingy in there.
Dingy.
Oh man. I mean, just coming in through the entrance, it looks more like you're going into central booking and entering jail than entering a civil courthouse. So
we really do need this to happen then.
yeah. Yeah. There's really no controversy about that. If you just took a tour through the Heman Marion Sweat with anybody who spends an amount of time there, you would see people sitting in the hall negotiating cases. It's just stuffed full. You'd see people in offices that used to be broom closets, and that's not hyperbole. That's real. We had a week there last week or 2 weeks ago that we had to put a trash can under it because water was cascading from the ceiling.
Oh, with the rains that we had?
I don't think it was from rains. I think it was a water main break.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was a water pipe break. This is a very old building. When the elevators go down, because there's a very limited amount of elevator space, it wasn't built with an elevator in it. This was 1930, whatever.
80 years ago.
Yeah, so when the elevators were installed, they were sort of shoved in there, but now the elevators are historic. So whenever the elevators go down, you have to bring in a guy who has an understanding of historic elevators that you don't find them anywhere else. And you have to bring in parts that aren't made anymore. So you have to have a machinist who can actually make the parts.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
And we're going to stick around for